Next we have here is p-value, or you can say probability value. So tells us how likely is that our data could have occurred under null hypothesis. If the test statistics is far from the mean of null distribution, then the p-value will be small, and obviously if it is small, then test statistics is not likely to have occurred under the null hypothesis. So what I mean by that is, if we have higher the p-value, then higher is the probability of failing to reject a null hypothesis. On the other hand, if p-value is lower, then higher is the probability of null hypothesis being rejected. So for example, if the p-value uh, uh, is below your threshold of significance value, that is 5% on the standard, then you can reject the null hypothesis, but this doesn't necessarily mean that your alternative hypothesis is true. So for example, um, consider that you work for a pharmaceutical company that produce some paracetamol active component in tablet of antipyretic medication. Okay, so an antipyretic drug reduces fever. So the amount of paracetamol deemed safe by the drug regulatory authority is 500 mg. If the value of paracetamol is too low, it will make the drug ineffective and become less issue for your company. Okay, on the other hand, a value that is too high would become a serious regulatory issue. So your task is to take few sample, measure the amount of paracetamol in them, and then test the hypothesis that the manufacturing process is running successfully, that is paracetamol content is within the regulatory defined parameters, that is whatever 500 mg or what. So you have the time and resource to take about up to 900 tablets. Okay, that is what time you have, and then you get after you collected that 900 tablet. Okay, so you get an average content of 510 mg with a standard deviation of 110 mg. So what does the test suggest? uh, if you set your significance level at 5%, okay, then you got your formula, that is uh, x mean minus mu by sigma by root n. So basically x mean is 510, and the active component that you have is 500 mg divided by what is the standard deviation, 110 is the standard deviation by number of sample you are taking, that is 900. Okay, and it will give you around 2.73. Now you will check this value in JAT table, which will give you this particular value 0.9868. Now for p value, you will be multiplying it with 2, and inside a parenthesis it will be 1 minus that particular Z value. Okay, so it will be 98, I wrote 99. Okay, so it will give you around 0.0064. So what I mean by that value, it provide stronger evidence against our null hypothesis, because it is lesser than our significance level, right? That is 5%, and it is lesser than that, and as a result you disagree with the null hypothesis, that is 500 mg of paracetamol is typically amount found in the medicines. Therefore the manufacturing process need to change, and this is a regulatory alarm for the company, and this is how you will be looking for hypothesis using p value. Okay.